So we're gonna go over today how we build no-dig cedar fence. This is my first time doing it. All the other guys have tried it. We're using our Ready driver with the Postmaster adapter. We're driving them a minimum of 3'6" to 4 feet in the ground, considering that we're facing a lot of wind. And they're pretty sturdy. And it's getting them down there pretty quick. All I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get the post in line with my fence line I've already established. He's gonna set the pounder on top of the post. The very first 6 inches to a foot on these is very crucial because they tend to walk, and once you get them down so far, you're not gonna walk them back. So I'll get it lined up, we'll get it pounded. Let's do it. How long it takes you to get these in the ground. Down there we were getting them probably 3 minutes, and it's taken considerably longer up here because we're running into a little bit more rock higher up. So it varies a lot just on what kind of rock you're dealing with, how much of it, and how wet it is. In this particular scenario here, where we're fighting that rock on the bottom and you have to sit on top of it for a while with that pounder, you end up with this. And that's not going to mount up so good if we drive these to the depth we want. So what we'll go through is we'll leave them a couple inches high, go through, mark out what we want for a grade, and then we'll cut them, get rid of this so my 2x4 can actually butt flush up against here instead of being kicked out. It makes for a better looking fence, and it makes for a tighter fence, and it's not gonna work its way loose in the future. Okay, we got our rails on, upper and lower. What we're doing here is we're coming up and we're backing the post so you don't see the steel post when you're looking at the fence from the back side. And then we're matching the front. He specifically wanted a 2-inch gap. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna space it out equally in between these so we make sure that these line up on every post. That way they're not offset and we don't get a bunch of funky spacing. All the posts are pretty close, set the same distance apart. So every measurement between pickets going to vary in each section just by a little bit, but not much. It should all stay pretty consistent through the whole fence. It's 120 feet from that end to that end. We lay out everything on equal spacings. What we'll do is we'll go down through, we'll measure our inside to inside. We'll calculate our 5.5-inch picket with a 2-inch space. So you're going to have 7.5 inches. And then you just need to divide that up, figure out how many pickets you have versus how many spaces you have, and then your gap may change a little bit. You might be just a little under 2 inches or just a little over 2 inches per spacing between each post. Okay, so we talked earlier about having a 2-inch gap. The guy wanted right around a 2-inch gap. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to measure from here to the inside of this one, figure out how many pickets go in there, spaced at roughly 2 inches. So we already pulled our measurement. So a picket is 5.5 inches plus our 2 inches, we're 7.5. My measurements came out to 7 7/16, which is really close. So when you start your measurements, you're going to start it from the face of this board over here to get your gap right over here. And that gives you your first spacing off that picket. Then every other one after that, we're right there. So then we'll level our picket up top to bottom and he'll nail it. So now that we got our string line set, we'll go through, use that to follow our grade. Where our grade varies, you'll come up just underneath of it. Make sure not to bump it, because then you'll start walking upwards. Just come up right below it. So we got our string line here, and then we got our marks on this side that tell us what our gap is going to be for each section. That's all pre-marked out on each one of these top rails, and then you level it out to the bottom. We do a 6-inch reveal on the top of the rail. You're gonna have your 6 inches, and then you're gonna float your post, and everything's gonna follow your post. So as long as you have your post set right, everything's gonna flow. So that's how we install our no-dig 4-foot cedar fence. Just remember, leave your posts a little high, just in case you get into some hard ground and you need to cut that mushroom top off. So you can seat that rail right up against that post so you don't have any gaps, because you don't want that getting loose on you in the future. Then your picket spacing can be completely up to your preference or the customer's preference. And we feel like it's a great alternative to digging and bringing concrete out here.